Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're watching the GSL Talk Show. Tonight, we're going to be chatting with Mr. Amrit Singh. So, stay tuned. Welcome back to the GSL Talk Show. As you all can see, I am here with Mr. Amrit Singh. How are you, sir?
I'm excellent. Thank you. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be chit-chatting with you here on the GSL Talk Show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I would love to, learn more about you and everything like that. So if you would like to tell us where you are and just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I live in Mexico now in Valle de Bravo. That's near Mexico City. Beautiful little mountain town. We're up at 6,000 feet, spring weather all year round. And it's like living in paradise. Mexico is just so beautiful. Wow. And I'm originally from Germany, where I grew up. And then when I was 25, I moved to India and lived there for 20 years. So that was a big shaping experience in my life to live in India for such a long time, which I had never planned, but it just kind of was like, oh, okay, one more year. Then suddenly it was 20. And so by the time we got out, my wife and my two kids, we decided that it was time to try something new and to start fresh. And so we moved to Mexico here, and we're very happy here now.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So well-traveled, all places I haven't been yet. So hopefully one day I'll get a chance to visit the places that you mentioned. Yeah, so that sounds amazing. Mexico, and you said a mountainous town, right? I was noticing a little bit of the background there. It looks really nice and pleasant. You're not in like a treehouse, are you?
No, but it is. It feels like it, but it's a beautiful house.
That's awesome. Well, hey, that sounds great. I'm glad that you all are enjoying your experience there and everything like that. Are there like vast differences between all of those, like growing up in Germany and then living in India and then now in Mexico? Like, what would you say are the biggest, like, was it culture shock for you, or like, how was it going to all those different types of places?
I mean, yes, big time. And just because all three places are very extreme, right, on the spectrum. Us Germans are very down to earth and very much into working and not having so much fun and working some more and being productive and those kinds of things, right? Okay. And then in India, it's all about spirituality and it's all about connecting, and it's so ingrained in the culture, in the land, in the people for 5,000 years of generational, practice in connection with spirit and in connection with your higher self and in connection with God in different aspects. So it's super powerful. And now coming here to Mexico, it's all about having fun and relaxing, because you can just go in the forest and pick up some wood and pick up some fruit from the tree and, eat some tortillas, and you can work for 1-2 hours a day and you have enough to live and survive. And so it's very different. That's why the Mexicans like to party and they like to enjoy life and they like to be happy and smile. In Germany, we don't have time to smile. We're like, we need to work. Wow. No time for smiling.
Wow. Like I said, with you naming those three places, I'm like, it has to be, some major differences and whatnot. Now, I didn't know it was like that in Germany in regards to the smiling, but man, that sounds like everybody needs to take a little vacation there.
Yeah, most certainly. And it's funny to watch, because in Germany, in those 6 to 8 weeks in the summer when the weather gets nice, all the Germans get nice and it's really fun. And if any of the listeners ever think about visiting Germany, visit in those 2 months in the summer. It's great fun. One of the best countries in the world to be at because it's, amazing infrastructure, amazing everything, and then happy people. Only problem is don't move there. Don't get fooled in the summer because the rest of the 10 months, it's dark. Everybody is depressed. People are in a bad mood. It is not a fun place to live the rest of the year.
Man. I see. Well, look, let's say duly noted then. I'm going to keep that in my heart and mind for future travel purposes and whatnot.
Perfect.
So what is it that you do now, Mr. Singh? Make sure I said it.
I work as a life coach and I love it. It's a change I made just 2 years ago where I really said, okay, this has been my passion my entire life. I've been coaching people since I'm a teenager. Looking back, right? When you look back, you're like, oh, I've been doing this the whole time. And so now I really went all in. I said, okay, I'm going to stop all the other things. I connected it with this move to Mexico. COVID really helped because I do all my work online now. I have clients from all around the world and I love it. It's such a passion of mine to help people, to serve, to support people to find their dreams and to connect with what they truly want. And it's just such an amazing job. I'm kind of like in the dream creation business. So I love it.
Nice. And so I know you say you've been kind of doing this all your life and everything like that. So what would you say is the inspiration for wanting to get into this business of life coaching?
Well, I always wanted to serve people and I wanted to help people heal and I wanted to have people really connect with their heart. And that was important for me too. That was one of the things I struggled with as a teenager when I had to go to school and they're saying, okay, you have to learn math, you have to learn English, you have to learn German, and I'm like, but it's so boring. I don't want to learn any of it. I just want to go out, run around and have fun outside and have fun with my friends. And so that was a real big struggle when it came to, okay, now it's time to go to university and study. And I'm like, I don't really want to study anything. It's all boring. Guys don't have anything interesting to study for me. And then I even looked at things like psychology and theology and all these things, because I was interested in the magic of life. I was interested in the spirituality. I was interested in connecting with my energetic self, with my aura, with just this magical aspect of life. And school didn't give that to me. Unfortunately, religion didn't give that to me at the time because there was no one there who could connect those dots, right? And so when I found it the first time when I smoked some weed and I was like, oh my God, this is it. I'm like, I had this feeling of being high and being connected and being in a different realm of existence. And that was super powerful for me. And so I realized, wow, this is amazing. You just have to smoke more weed. And then unfortunately, that was a really unhealthy habit because I ended up just being stoned all day. And so when I found yoga and I found this practice and I found this lifestyle, which I adopted from the religion of Sikhism, it really changed for me because I was able to go to the same depth and the same connection without being stoned. And so that was a really special moment for me. And, today I'm, for me, I don't want to be identified as a religious person because, even though I look like this, but I'm kind of at a point now where I say like, hey, I love having my beard. I love wearing my turban because I got long hair. And I mean, you have long hair, you know how it feels, when your hair's in your mouth and when you eat it's in the soup and whatever, like all these struggles. So suddenly I had this turban and I'm like, wow, this works. And now I have my hair on top of my head and I feel really centered when I put it on. And I'm like, I'm wearing a turban. I love this thing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot there, honestly, because I had a friend that was from Germany as well. And I know he was kind of struggling with, building his faith and whatnot there. Like he felt more connected when he was in the US, being able to connect with God and things like that. I mean, I don't want to judge the whole country because, I mean, obviously I haven't been there or anything. But would you say as somebody that has lived there that type of thing is like were you introduced to? It doesn't seem like you tapped into, I guess, spirituality at all until like perhaps later in life after the stone situation, being stoned and whatnot, like after all of that. Like, So what was that like for you growing up? Like, was there no, I guess, cultivation of that side that you were looking for, or?
Well, for me, it was really dry. It was very
Mm,
theoretical. It was like, oh, you need to read this, and then you feel connected to God. And I read this, and I didn't feel anything. And I was like, okay, that
mm,
doesn't work for me. So must be the religion's fault, right? Today,
mm,
now that I'm almost 50, I can look back on it and I can say it has nothing to do with what religion you're following or what spiritual practice you're following. It's all about going inwards and finding God inside of you. And if the Bible helps you to do that, that's amazing. If the Quran
mm.
helps you to do that, that's amazing. If whatever, if being an atheist helps you connect with yourself and connect with source and universe, that's amazing. So for me, I came to a point where I'm really, what's much more important for me is non-judgment and integration of other faiths, and to just say like, hey, just because I'm walking this path doesn't make it the right path, just makes it one of many, makes it the one I chose. And I'm so happy you're walking your path because I see you how it makes you a better person. I see how it uplifts your community you're in. I see how it serves you and your process. So for me, really important thing in what I teach and what I share with people is, hey, stick with your faith. Stick with what works for you. Don't try to jump around. Don't start growing a beard and putting on a turban suddenly because you think like that's so cool that I'm doing this. But find what works for you. That's so important. And I think this communication between people from different faiths is so essential, because the more we talk to each other, we realize we're all the same in the end. We're all human. Doesn't matter what the color of our skin is, or what, if we wear a turban or not, if we have a beard or not, or if we pray to Allah or to Mother Mary or to Jesus, right? It's in the end, it's what works for you, what helps you connect to your spiritual self, because ultimately we are all spiritual beings having a human experience on this planet, and we need to find a way to reconnect with our spirituality. And if religion does that for you, I say that's awesome. Do more of it.
I mean, I hear you. I definitely agree with the statement in regards to, yeah, we're all humans and then whatnot. And I think we're definitely struggling with that. It's like we like to separate ourselves and whatnot, using all the different differences. And I think on one hand, it's a beautiful thing to, be able to visit other countries and see how they do this, and, culture and all that is a beautiful thing. But at the same time, like you said, we are all humans, and, sometimes some of the conflict just seems to uh, be unwarranted or whatnot. And I think for me, it all just kind of boils down to just good and evil. I think we all should acknowledge that all are capable of good and evil. And that's where the conflict is. It's not because I may be African American or you may be whatever, German or whatever. It's I guess that bigger thing, that spiritual aspect or whatever. I know when the Bible tells us basically, we're not fighting against flesh and blood, we're fighting against principalities. And so that's on a whole another level too, because maybe people don't, you just see the person in front of you that you have the issue with. And so it's a lot. It's a lot of different things there. But I am curious to hear about, like, so I know you were saying that you got into, life coaching and whatnot because you wanted to serve and help people and things of that nature. I find that this is a very popular path. In regards to life coaching, I feel like there's a lot more of that happening these days and whatnot, and or people becoming life coaches. Like, why do you think there's I guess such a need for this position? Like people needing to be coached in their life or whatnot. Like, why do
I
you
think
think that
it
is?
has to do with a similar thing why so many more people go to therapy right now, right? I mean, there's a shortage of therapists all around the world. And I think it's
Mm,
very similar thing because people realize, hey, there is something going on inside of me, and
mm,
I'm just seeing it with one eye closed, right, and half covered in a way where I cannot see myself fully clearly. And I come up with these ideas. My favorite example is always the New Year's resolution. We all love New Year's resolution. We're all like, yeah, I want to eat healthy. I'm going to go running every day. I'm going to do this. I will stop smoking, whatever it is. And all people come up with their things. And then 2 weeks later, it goes like, right back into the old tracks. And
Mm-hmm.
it's because we have a hard time staying accountable to ourselves. We have a hard time coaching ourselves through those challenges when we come to this moment and we're saying, hey, it's really hard to get out of bed at 6 a.m. and go running, even though last night I said I would. And so, no one will know, and I can just snuggle in my bed, and it's so much nicer. But when you stay accountable to yourself through someone else, and suddenly you go running every day and you do this for 6 months and you do this for a year, now suddenly it becomes a habit and it becomes part of your identity. And it's something you do for the rest of your life. And you're going like, oh my God, I feel so much better those days I go running. And so that's kind of, I think, where the need for the coaching comes from. And it's a concept borrowed from sports, from artists, from in the music industry, right? Like, no, there's no successful athlete or artist who doesn't have a coach behind them. And it's not the coach doing the running. It's not the coach doing the singing. It's the coach taking you from good to great, because the coach can help you see what you can't see, and it can see your potential and can see your possibility of growth, and it will hold you to it. And so for me, working in this way, and I'm seeing people's transformations and going into these amazing fields and changing the way they earn money, changing how much money they earn, seeing how they eat healthier, how their health changes, how their relationship changes. And it's beautiful to watch.
I can understand that. Yeah, I can definitely see how, it's important to have, like you say, accountability partners, things of that nature, perhaps even a coach to cheer you on, to push you to that next level and everything like that. So you say you've been doing this for 2 years now, in regards to the transfer of your...
Yeah, I'm doing it full time for 2 years, where I actually like have a website and I have a business and I charge people money for it. Because like one of the things I learned is, even though I was coaching people for all these years, people wouldn't come back. And I was like, why are people not coming back? And then I realized they just felt the energy balance was out of whack, right? Because they kept taking and taking when I coached them and I spent hours and hours working with them, but they never gave anything back. So when this changed and I started charging money for my services, now suddenly people were very comfortable coming back for 6 months on a regular basis, right? And being like, hey, where's my next session? I paid for this. And then suddenly they could accept it. And so I actually realized that me charging money, which at some point I was like, ooh, it's bad. Maybe I shouldn't charge money. Maybe I should just do it for free, right? This thing we all go through, right? And now I realized I'm actually serving people at a deeper level because I do charge money.
I can understand that. I know I kind of went through a process last year where, when I guess I had someone speaking to my life about maybe I wasn't valuing myself enough or whatever. And so there was a point that I had to kind of like revamp my rates and whatnot for my business and stuff like that, just to, I guess start to be more fair to myself as well as, others and whatnot as well. So I get it, from a business perspective, like if you're doing something, you're providing a service. Sometimes I feel like I learned early on too with doing this that I had a guest, and I guess obviously it sticks with me because I keep referring back to her a lot. But she talked about how basically our gifts should be our work. Like whatever we are gifted with, we believe that Christ has given us those gifts to. That whatever it is should also be the same for you. So for you, you're saying it's the life coaching. I've been serving and doing this for years. This is my gift, and now it is also my work. And so how has that fulfilled you to bring the two together, your gift and passionate work?
Yeah, and this is really where I realized when I came to this point where I said, oh, I'm not living my passion 100%, and I wanted to do more of that. And that is actually in my own work with my coach, which I hired to coach me. And I came to this point like, oh my God, this is such an easy answer. I just have to fully commit and I have to jump into this new area, and I have to trust that the universe will take care of me and will cover me when I serve the world in the way through my gifts and through my passion. And so that's where it's scary. It's scary to trust at that deep level, right? It's scary to have faith and to know that you will be taken care of. But that's part of the requirements. You have to jump off that cliff and you have to trust that you will be covered.
Yes, indeed, yes, indeed. You said the words that I was sitting here thinking that, yeah, at the end of the day, for me, I call it walking by faith, right? And I had to take that first step of faith. In 2020 for me as well, is when things got shaken up, and here we are today from my step of faith, right? And whatnot. And so, yeah, it's an amazing thing. It is kind of scary sometimes because you're like, well, I still have bills, or well, what am I going to do with this or that? But the more what I found in my life is the more that I continue to do it, the more that I see things being done and worked out in my favor and all these different things. And so now, I mean, I guess all of this stuff just keeps elevating my faith as the more I see, like, I feel like God moving in my life. And so, that's where I'm at with it. And so I'm glad to hear that you are walking in your way as well. And, finally doing what you say is your passion and dream and goal and whatnot in regards to helping people. I would love to know if there's somebody, obviously I'm sure you can't share all the information or anything like that, but is there anything or someone that not only did you impact them, but they also impacted you? Is there any testimony that you could give us?
Every client impacts me, and this is something I learned very early on too, that really the clients I work with are the people who inspire me the most, where I'm saying oh my God, I can't believe you haven't gone to this amazing place yet. Can I please work with you? Because I know if I can just work with you over these next 6 months, you will get there and you will grow bigger than I am. And you will be more amazing and more radiant and more shining. And so for me, that's my favorite clients I work with, because I see these people doing things which maybe I'm not even ready to do. And that's a beautiful thing to witness.
Awesome. And I can understand that as well, because I feel like every time I have these type of conversations and stuff, sometimes what you guys say fit my life right now. And then when the episodes come out, sometimes there's a whole nother thing going on where these conversations, fit whoever may be watching, or even when I watch them again, sometimes it's like, wow, that's a right now thing that I needed to hear. So again, I mean, everything just truly works. I feel like we're all a part of this big puzzle that is life, I guess you would say. And so again, I think it's a beautiful thing that you're, embarking on your journey and everything like that. I am curious to know, when you came across, the God, Sex, and Love platform, what stood out about it to you, and what was something that you wanted to definitely talk about with visiting us today?
Oh, one thing which stood out to me when I listened to one of your episodes yesterday is this one sentence you said. You said, why do people have to make things bad which they read in the Bible? Why does it have to be so heavy, and why do people have such a challenge with it? And I thought, oh my God, I connect with that so much, because it's similar for me. Why do people have to make it bad that I have a beard and I got a turban, and it's this judgment of people. I mean, the Bible is beautiful material, right? And we could all benefit from studying what's in there. It's not about if I pick up the Bible, now suddenly I'm a Christian and I'm super religious. No, I pick up the Bible and I read a beautiful inspirational text which can help my life to improve and look at things in a more positive life, and serve the people around me and uplift those who need uplifting, going out there and doing some selfless service and giving some of my money to someone who needs it. And for me personally, Jesus is an amazing inspiration. I mean, what beautiful stories have been told about his life and what he did and how he served the world. And I just think hey, we can just all be a little bit more like Jesus. Will be good for the world as a whole.
I mean, I agree. I will. Thank you. I didn't know that you listened to. That's the Juice, y'all. He's talking one of the daily inspiration segments. But I appreciate that. And I'm glad that you were able to kind of think about some things and stuff. I just know sometimes people, I think they see God, Sex, and Love, and then they just have like you say, if they see you with the turban and beard, they have a preconceived notion about you. And I feel like sometimes that may be the same about this. But I'm glad that regardless, you decided to, come today and have this conversation and share about you and your life and everything. I don't want to belong your time, but I would love for you to share with us, just, well, one, how we can get in touch with you. And is there anything else like works coming up and stuff that you want us to be aware of?
Yeah, I'm actually super excited about this course, which I'm putting on next week, which is like a 5-day introduction to Kundalini yoga and meditation. And it's the first time I'm teaching it. It's just a 5-day Zoom course. And so if this podcast releases before the 3rd of April, then people can check it out. Maybe you can put the link in the show notes so that anyone is interested to learn more about meditation and how that can help them in their journey inwards and in their connection with the Bible, in their connection with Jesus Christ. And it's a beautiful tool to be able to dive deeper and just learn about how to connect with your true self and connect ultimately with God.
And what is your website and places that we can find you on social
media?
My
website is coachingnow.info. So super simple, just coachingnow.info. And another place you can find me is on TikTok. I know there's, in this world today, there's 2 camps. Like there's the camp of people who hate TikTok, and then there's the camp of people who love TikTok. So if you're one of the people who loves TikTok, check me out on TikTok. I post something every day. I have lots of fun with TikTok, and it's one of those things I just enjoy.
Nice. Okay. Let me find out. He's on here TikToking and everything. You dancing and stuff? Or what we looking for?
No, I'm not dancing, but I do talking and I do fun stuff. Okay. Yeah, the dancing thing. It's just, I'm not there yet. Maybe it's coming.
Not yet, boy. It's probably coming,
if
y'all.
I get enough requests for a dance, I'll do a dance.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, I want to open the floor. Is there anything else you would like to share with us? Maybe even a final thought or something like that.
Yeah, just let's all be a little bit more connected. Let's all be a little bit more open-minded. Let's start talking to people who we don't know about how they think, and reach out and not be so closed-minded, not put so many barriers and separations, and just realize that we're all the same, no matter if we're male or female, or if we're from Africa or from Asia or from Europe. We're all the same. We're just souls, spirits in this body, having this experience. And so that's, for me, I think that's the biggest one we can all learn. And little small things we all can do to be more inclusive and to be more open-minded will serve us to get there.
Hey, well, I can't argue with that. I appreciate you spending time with us, Mr. Amrit. Did I say that?
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much again. Thank you so much for watching the GSL Talk Show, and thank you to Mr. Amrit Singh for joining us tonight. I hope that you all enjoyed the conversation. Be on the lookout for his courses and everything like that, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Have a great night.